It depends on the mechanism employed by the board to finance cocoa purchasing. If we adopt the forward sales method, you know the exact price at which you're selling. If you opt for the spot sales, you monitor the price in the world market and take advantage when the price is rising. But in the case of this year, the predictions are all over that there is shortage, and therefore price of cocoa will go up. And so it will not make sense if you engage in forward sales and lock up.
Honorable nominee, you are involved in a lot of research, are you?
Yes, sir.
And your colleagues, some due diligence report I have, has your colleagues describing you as an honest person to deal with. I therefore know that politics is politics to you, and facts will remain facts to you. May I know from you, from your earlier submissions, you were very clear that the world market price of cocoa has increased as a result of the shortage in supply of cocoa worldwide. That in mind, would you agree to any suggestion to the effect that Ghana is also suffering from low production because of mismanagement? I mean, in all fairness.
Mr. Chairman, in all fairness, you are partly right. Because in Côte d'Ivoire, the reduction was around 28%. In Ghana, it was over 45%.
Honorable nominee, you remember, no, you were not with the Finance Committee.
I've been with the Finance Committee for some time.
No, I'm talking about 2013. When I came into Parliament, I served on the Finance Committee, and my respected uncle, Honorable Collins Dauda, he was on the committee with us. We'll talk about his story someday. He calls me Miwafasi, you know. In this very room, in this very meeting room, Honorable Setekwe, the then Finance Minister, met with us. And this was when he was bringing his mid-year budget. And he wanted to discuss some pertinent issues with us as a Finance Committee. This is what he had to say, that the cocoa sector was suffering low production as a result of the Galamsey activities, and many people were cutting down their cocoa trees for mining activities. And in fact, when he said that, I could relate to it, because my ancestral farms in Asin Fosu area, where my family members have been dependent on, few weeks before the meeting, they had come to me that they needed money to buy machine, and that people were making money from gold. And I found that strange. So when he said that, it wasn't surprising to me. Anyway, would you suggest a much more comprehensive approach on the part of the political class in addressing this Galamsey activities affecting cocoa sector, so that we are not seen as playing politics when the real story is there?
Mr. Chairman, I think that when you look at the challenge of Galamsey and its impacts on cocoa production, managers of the cocoa sector, knowing very well that these Galamsey activities is impacting on cocoa production, ought to have been very moderate on their cocoa projections. But you come to the House with a projection of 850,000 means that you have put in place adequate measures to produce that quantity. And then you end up recording 500 and something, and then you say it is galamsey. At the time we were projecting, were you not aware that the menace could have some catastrophic consequences on production?
Honorable Senior, you know, you've earned my respect with that phrase, and I want us to delve a bit into that. You see, this is a national platform, and I know that when it gets to the partisan political space, we throw in a lot of rhetorics. Sometimes we don't mean them, sometimes we mean them. I agree with you that it is good to be measured in our ambitions. I agree. But then also, don't you think that the narrative by us as a political class should be aimed at supporting the sector in a very much pragmatic way? So, for instance, getting the opportunity on the floor, you can tell the chief executive, in view of the realities, this your projection, revise it. Rather than hitting hard or doing the blame game, because we know the reality.
Mr. Chairman, I agree with you perfectly. But when the Constitution places a responsibility on you, and you are unable to discharge that responsibility, certainly you have to be blamed. You agree with me as a seasoned and respectable, venerable lawyer in the country that under Article 257, all the mineral resources...
So now you are going into law too?
No, I'm not going into law.
That our small space...
I'm not going to law.
No, that's our small space that my senior and I are keeping to. You are getting there.
Honorable Minority Leader, let him answer.
I know.
Let him answer the question. Please proceed to answer the question.
I was saying that under Article 257 of the 1992 Constitution. Okay.
He wants to be specific, so please, if you can be specific, do so.
That provision in the Constitution places the responsibility on the President of the Republic of Ghana to protect and preserve mineral resources wherever they are found within the boundaries of our country for the future generation. And so if we are blaming a particular government, probably it may be because of this particular provision.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, when you're on a national platform, the language obviously is different, but it's okay. Honorable nominee, now let me, tease your mind on this matter. You know, the EU issued some directives, let me put it for want of a better word, and they were trying to suggest to us that we should adopt a much more environmentally friendly approach in cultivating our cocoa, right from seedling production. You know, currently, cocoa board, and not only cocoa board, almost all our seed production activities rely on topsoil. Going into the sector, can you assure the nation that you will take steps to encourage the use of cocoa pits, soilless media, as an alternative for the topsoil?
Mr. Chairman, we have the experts in the sector, and normally their recommendation informs policies. And so if in the wisdom of the experts, it is something that can help our nation advance the course of production, why not? we'll go with it.
So, but would you agree with me that the topsoil as a means of producing seedling is a real problem?
Chairman,
I mean, considering the state of...
we have a way of treating the soil.
Very well.
How can Burkina produce more tomatoes than Ghana? They know how to manage the soil. And so once we have the experts there, let's give them the resources.
Chairman, I'm not talking about actual nursery and final stage of having the seedling in there. Because where the seedling production is poor, you will produce weak seedlings with low nutrients. They won't survive. Yeah. You are aware from the report you have from Cocoa Board that their survival rate is 40%. That is the mainstay of my question. That would you want to encourage an alternative means?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Very well. That's assurance I needed you to give to the country. Because that alternative means will create more jobs. Because this coconut husk, if we encourage the private sector to get into it and then produce the cocoa pit, it's going to help a lot of the seed production, not only cocoa board, maize, rice, etc., all those things. And then it's going to help us. So that's the point I wanted to underscore. Very well. But let the records reflect.
Mr. Chairman, it's a good point.
That's an honest answer. Now, Honorable Nominee, this swollen shoot virus thing that, we are just dealing with the surface. I'm not an agronomist. Don't take me into the deeper ocean. I'm not taking you there. I just want to understand general policy issues and how your government is going to see to it. Now, the cocoa swollen shoot virus is one of the major causes of decline in cocoa production, apart from the galamsey thing. Today, records have it that over 600 hectares out of 1.95 million hectares of cocoa area under cultivation is affected with the disease. Between 2014 and 2016, when the NDC was in government, the control of this important disease was a challenge. Farmers also suffered, and it continued through 2017 all the way to date, no doubt. What will be the policy, a sustainable policy by your government to control this?
Mr. Chairman, as for swollen shoot cocoa disease, the best approach is to cut the affected tree and replant. But my point has to do with the fact that this House approved a loan facility of $600 million United States dollars for rehabilitation of the moribund and diseased cocoa farms in 2019. Almost 5 years now, the impact of that investment ought to have been felt in production. But we are not seeing that. And it is an area that must be a concern to all of us, because we collateralize the cocoa trees, and every year we have to release 32,802 metric tons of cocoa to service that loan.
Yes, I agree. I think, in terms of, in terms of the impact.
Honorable Member, are you on the point of order against your leader? So please, I'll give the floor to your leader. Please, leader, you have the floor.
Chairman, thank you very much. I'm talking about the impact that you talked about. The rehabilitation, as you rightly stated, started in 2019. We are in 2025. So it's only 5 years away. Cocoa production will peak around the 12 to 15 years. So yes, the peak. No, the hybrids will start yielding from 2 years, but you'll be getting only a few pods. So if you want to see the impact, you're talking about 10 years onwards. Yes, so you don't expect to get the impact today. Fortunately, you are in government today. So when the yields start to go up, don't claim the entire credit for yourself. You have to credit the...
Honorable Opoku, I think let's take it easy. Let's take it easy. The issue is not about he taking credit or otherwise. I think the trust of the matter is the impact issue. I mean, and I just want us to be fair with him. He isn't criticizing or he's not saying that the policy has failed. All he's saying is that the impact is yet to be felt. Eric, if I got you right. So as to the time for that maturity to be felt, it's a different matter. So I'm sure, now back to my next question. Would you agree that under the system, it will take a longer period for the full impact to be felt after this rehabilitation exercise from the experts?
Mr. Chairman, if you say the full impact, I will agree with you. But at least the impact must be seen now.
I agree. I agree too. Now, let's get into this. You talked about Nkoko Nketenkete. Well, I heard it from His Excellency President Mahama. And for me as an entrepreneur, knowing the pressure from our youth on all of us as a political class, beyond the political rhetoric, I believe that if it is implemented, it will help the youth. Because a lot of them are dejected in this country. They don't have jobs, and the pressure is on us. You've already answered that steps will be taken. But let's go up north. You know, some 12 years ago, there was this same beautiful idea. That time, it was not Nkoko Nketenkete, it was a confirmed Nketenkete. Where the guinea fowl rearing thing was introduced. It was not too successful. What assurance can you give to our young men and women in the north who have heard of this Nkoko Nketenkete down south? Okay? What assurances can you give them that there will be a reintroduction of the guinea fowl rearing policy, the unconfirmed Nketenkete policy, to also help them and their livelihoods?
Mr. Chairman, I think that the guinea fowl Nketenkete program has already taken off. The MPP implemented this in 2020, and I've referred this committee to a document that is available to the House, the 2020 budget, paragraph 273. In that paragraph, we were told that government was going to distribute a certain quantity of Nkoko Nketenkete to farmers. In fact, as a ranking member, I followed up, and surprisingly, that quantity, even though procured, what was distributed was far less than half of that quantity. And so the Nkoko Nketenkete issue, the unconfirmed Nketenkete issue you are raising, is already being implemented by your party, Mr. Chairman. And so it is not something new that we have to introduce. We only have to improve upon what you are doing.
So, Honorable Nominee, I just want your assurance to the nation that there would be a program to create jobs. So if your suggestion is that you are going to improve upon it, that confirm Nketenkete thing, kindly reassure the nation on that.
Mr. Chairman, that's exactly so.
Honorable nominee, I mean, as we hear, I'm sure everybody is watching us. I've had the benefit of receiving a text message from no less a person than Mr. Emmanuel Ray Ankra, the current Deputy Chief Executive, Finance and Administration. He says, and he wants to be quoted for the purpose of public records, that the syndicated loan, as at the time of transition, had been fully paid. The syndicated loan, not other indebtedness. He says that I should actually quote him, and that he believes that there are other facilities that perhaps, if you can refer to and later come back to us, you would confirm yourself that for the syndicated loan, it's been fully paid. All right, so it's not a question I'm asking you. I'm just providing this information. When you are discharged from this committee, it's not an end in itself. We can all interrogate issues. So just for us to cross-check. Is that okay? All right. Honorable nominee, now let me go into other...
Mr. Chairman.
Okay, sorry, I thought...
Mr. Chairman, I think I...
Do you have a response to that?
Yes, I referred to the handing over document that was given to us. Yes. In that document, they indicated that they owe the market 374,000 tons of cocoa, and that they have rolled it over to this year. If that is not related to syndication, I don't have any problem.
Okay, Chair.